Welcome to Pets in Paradise TV, the show that explores the relationship between humans and animals in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, Hawaii. Here's what's coming up in the next half hour. We'll witness how a surfing pig made a wish come true for a little girl who traveled all the way from Idaho to Hawaii. But the long journey was worth it.
And so being able to go back to this moment in this beach and remember the time that we were here is going to be what she needs to keep going to battle.
Then find out if the boxer is the right dog for your family, and it's all about the breed. Plus, we'll follow an equine behaviorist specialist as he helps rescue an abandoned colt. It's all ahead on Pets in Paradise TV. The Hawaiian Islands are the most geographically isolated landmass in the world. People travel thousands of miles to view the rugged coastlines, relax on the beautiful beaches, swim in the crystal clear waters, and enjoy the year-round sunny weather. But that wasn't what drew 2-year-old Eloise and her family.
I mean, she could have went to Disneyland, Disney World, Alaska, wherever, but she chose to come here. So we're really honored and, we're honored.
We loaded up all 6 kids and we had to fly on 2 different planes to get here.
6 kids on a small confined airplane. I'll let you guess what that was like.
We rented 2 Jeeps so we could drive around because we won't all fit in one car.
And today was kind of the big day for us and for Eloise because this whole trip was about getting Eloise over to surf with Kama, the surfing pig.
And this is just the perfect way to end our week.
Can you make a pig noise?
Kama loves to do things for the kids. So when Eloise contacted us on Facebook and wanted her one and only wish was to meet Kama the surfing pig and watch him surf, we had to do all we could to help make it happen.
So Eloise has acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
ALL for short.
It is one of the most curable forms of childhood pediatric cancer.
The 95% success rate, 95% incident-free treatment.
She is currently in the last phase of treatment. We are scheduled to finish treatment on August 13th, 2017.
So there's a 95% chance that she'll just go straight through all the treatment and everything will go great and she won't ever have a relapse.
When surfing the net, Eloise came across a surfing pig.
She just wants to watch it over and over again.
Kama the pig could always put a smile on her face.
And if she's sick from chemo, she asks to watch Kama. And if she's having a rough day, she wants to watch Kama. If she's trying to get out of bedtime, she asks to watch Kama.
And finally, the moment she's been waiting for. After 4,000 miles, 2 plane rides, many chemo treatments, and lots of tears, Eloise and her family is meeting the pig that has brought joy to them all.
So it's been fantastic for her to watch Kama for the last 1.5 years and finally today get to meet him in person and pet him and feed him grapes and just spend the afternoon hanging out with the pig who got her through the worst things of her life.
Ellie, come up.
Oh, Eloise loves pigs. Anytime she sees something that's got a pig on it, we have to buy it for her. She has piles of pig stuffed animals. We had to buy her a pig pineapple at the Dole plantation.
Yeah, and after the surf session, we caught one all the way in, and what did Ellie have waiting for Kama? Kama's favorite treat, grapes. Nice and sandy ones. Kama loves grapes.
Eloise enjoyed a carefree day crawling and playing on the beach with Kama, the kind of childhood memory that her parents would give anything for her to have.
We just decided that we couldn't tell her no, and we whipped out the credit card because with 1 income and 6 children and leukemia, you just can't afford a week-long trip to Hawaii at the last minute. We're looking at probably over $10,000 just to get Ellie out to swim and surf with Kama. But for us, it was worth it, just to see the smile on her faces and to know that this is just probably the happiest she's been in the last year and a half, and that's why we did it. She has just had the time of her life today, and I truly don't think there's anything that we'll be able to do in the future that will top what today has meant for her.
Her favorite thing in the world is pigs, so she really wanted to meet Kama the surfing pig, and we really wanted to meet her. She's such a special baby.
And Kama is such a special pig. His courage to do what most animals cannot, and his carefree ability to ride the waves of life has served as an inspiration to many. And Eloise's parents are convinced that laughter and aloha are the best medicine.
We check Eloise's blood counts all the time because that gives us a really good view into her body and into what the leukemia is doing to her. And it's been fantastic to see that every time we've gone in recently, her blood counts are getting higher and higher and higher. And that means her body is battling this. And the only thing that's changed is the anticipation of meeting Kama. So now that we've been here and we've experienced Hawaii and we've experienced Kama and the generosity and the aloha spirit here, this is just going to carry over through the rest of her treatment and just really give her that last final push to stay strong through all of the stuff she has coming up. She has one more surgery to have her port removed. And then we have a lot of unknowns. You know, if she spikes a fever, we end up in the hospital. She might end up with more blood or platelet transfusions. And so being able to go back to this moment in this beach and remember the time that we were here is going to be what she needs to keep going to battle and really fight through the last of this leukemia.
This is getting to see the smile on Ellie's face today, just getting to watch her as she got to watch the pig and feed the pig some grapes. This has just been the perfect end to this vacation. It's been amazing.
Because of their ever so stylish haircuts, poodles are easily recognizable. But how did these hairstyles develop? Why the pom-poms on their tails and the bows on their heads? The reason is not just for style, but for practicality. Poodles are water retrievers, and in the early 1600s, European breeders realized they could swim better if they didn't have so much heavy wet fur on their bodies. So they were shorn to keep them afloat easier. Some areas, though, like on the chest, head, and ankles, tufts of fur were left to keep their joints warm. Top knots were used to keep the hair out of their eyes while swimming. Bows were added so that owners could identify their dogs during competitions. The fancy poodle cuts today are no longer out of necessity, but are simply a tradition that has continued through the years. And now let's learn about another breed, the boxer. If you get the chance to hang out with a litter of boxer puppies, you're gonna fall in love. These little guys are about the cutest puppies you can imagine, and you know you want one. They romp, they play, they sometimes look happy, sometimes concerned, sometimes they just look puzzled. The good news is that with some love and proper training, these little guys will grow up to be great pets. According to the American Kennel Club, in 2015, boxers were the 10th most popular breed, up from 8th the year before. They came from Germany originally, bred as working dogs back in the 1800s, then later spread across Europe and eventually to the United States after World War I. Their ancestors were from what is now an extinct breed that may have been crossed with a Mastiff, a Bulldog, possibly a Great Dane, and maybe even a Terrier. They were working dogs used as bull baiting dogs and were the first breed to be used as police dogs. Boxers are fairly large, most about 1'9" to 2 feet tall, with males weighing from 65 to 80 pounds and females 50 to 65. They have a lifespan of 10 to 12 years. Boxers have a distinctly square-shaped head and a blunt muzzle. Their ears fold over naturally, but traditionally have been cropped to stand erect until that practice went out of favor. Their coats are short and they shed moderately. Most are a deep fawn color, some are brindle, and a few are even white. In the personality department, they're intelligent, high-energy dogs who like to be in company of their owners and stay busy. They're good watchdogs and are alert to strangers. When outside, though, they should always be on a leash because they have a history of chasing other dogs and cats. As for health issues, boxers are prone to certain types of cancer, including brain tumors, and white boxers are prone to skin cancer. Heart conditions are also common, as is hip dysplasia. One thing to keep in mind about boxers, they are susceptible to heat stroke more than other breeds. They need to be kept cool. They're good with children, although maybe a little too rambunctious for toddlers, and they get along fine with other pets in the house except other dogs of the same sex. Because they were bred as working dogs, boxers are strong-minded and need to be handled in an upbeat, persuasive manner. If you try to force them to do something they don't want to do, they might just sit down and refuse to budge, even more so if you try to jerk them around. To recap, the boxer's good traits include being friendly, playful, energetic, and good with children, and generally with other pets. They require little grooming and aren't prone to too many serious physical problems. Unfortunate traits, boxers have a fairly short lifespan and are known for snorting, wheezing, snoring, drooling, and yes, flatulence. And now you know all about the boxer. As you can see, boxers have big tongues. But some dogs, no matter what the breed, often leave their tongues hanging out all the time. Do you know what that's called? When a dog leaves his tongue out all the time, it's called hanging tongue syndrome. It's usually not a serious problem, and vets are not sure why it happens. But sometimes their tongues get dry and cracked and prone to infections. Another condition is called macroglossia, or big tongue. It can occur in any breed and is a much bigger health threat. When a horse is in trouble, Bettina Parker and her team at Equine 808 get the call.
Okay guys, we just got a phone call a little while ago regarding a colt. The foster parent of this colt called. I'm not sure exactly of all the details.
The team gathers up to go down in person to really see what's going on.
We're heading out to go pick up a colt. I'm just gonna gather up some gear that we'll need and pack up the truck and we'll head out.
Hi, this is Bettina. Hi, I just want to let you know that we are on our way with the trailer and my team. Okay, are you at home? Okay, we should be there shortly.
Now on site, the team immediately gets to work.
Hi, Bettina.
Hi, nice to meet you. Where's the colt at?
He's right here in the end stall,
Okay.
looking at you.
All right, let's go take a look and see what we got.
He had some issues when he came to us. He was malnourished, and his face was all...
What we just learned about Hank was that he was born out in pasture, and his mother had died probably when he was about a month old. Because he didn't have the protection of his mother out there in pasture, he probably was trying to nurse off of other mares. Maybe there were some other geldings out there that didn't like him much, and he got kicked in the eye. And they found him with his face real swollen, and it seems like he may be permanently blind in that eye.
Hank's injury is severe, but Equine 808 can help.
So I think we're going to go ahead and take him into our program and see what we can do for Hank.
Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna try to transport Hank to our ranch. But first thing I need to do is kind of assess Hank's behavior. I'm not so much concerned with his eye, just the natural behaviors of a horse. So what I like to do is I like to get myself in the same environment as the horse and see how he reacts to my presence.
Christopher Mizio is what's called an equine behavior specialist.
Hank being a colt, he's gonna be really curious, wanting to be with herd. His natural herd instinct will want him to gather with me. This is all good behavior, normal for a horse. Being a colt, he's gonna be naturally friendly, kind of wanna bite, nip, maybe kick, treat me like a horse.
Christopher looks at Hank's social strengths and weaknesses. Being neglected at a young age can have a strong impact on horses, but Hank is very friendly.
Looks like Hank's good with his back feet. That's just playfulness there. He just wants to play a little bit. What makes Hank dangerous is probably this eye. The fact that he can't see me right here, he's trusting his ears. So if I go behind him where he can't see, he's trying to track me with his good eye, and I touch him there, he's gonna startle. If I go to this side, he can track me with that eye, and it's not as dangerous. See, he doesn't flinch.
Christopher will use a combination of touch exercises and positive reinforcement to help Hank.
With a horse that can't see, you gotta be really fluid with your movements. Like I was showing you, when I touch his butt, if he doesn't know it's coming on his blind side, he'll startle.
The team now needs to take Hank to their headquarters to begin the training. First, Hank needs to be haltered, something he's never gone through.
All I'm trying to do is let him be calm here while I'm holding him, teaching him that everything that we do here isn't dangerous. His first instinct's gonna be to fly and get away because he's too young to fight. So there, Hank's haltered. This is his first haltering experience, so pretty well. Went pretty well. So we're ready to trailer him, I think. What I need you to do is go ahead and pull the trailer forward so we make a fluid motion right into the trailer.
The next step is to move Hank into the trailer, another thing completely foreign to the young horse.
Okay, Bettina, what I'd like you to do is open that gate.
Is Christopher's bond with Hank strong enough to keep him from running away? Now it's the true test to see if Hank will follow him to the trailer.
Okay, Bettina, what I'd like you to do is open that gate. And it's important that we just continue to walk forward in that trailer, never looking back at him, so that he has a solid lead horse to follow. So like I said, I never want to look back at him, giving him any reassurance of what he's spooked about. I'm going to continue just to walk and know that he's going to follow.
Christopher's strong lead helps Hank's first transition go smoothly.
So that went about as good as it could. It's important that I go in here with him to show that this is a safe place. I know that he already trusts me because of how we are interacting in the stall.
Now Hank is off to his new home at Equine 808. There, the team will care for him and his injury, work to improve his coordination, and train him to be safe around people so he can be successfully adopted out. The whole process could take up to 2.5 years.
So I think the story checks out because it's natural for him, if his mom did die when he was quite young, to look for another source of milk. And if he went to a mare or even a stallion that wasn't his, they'd naturally kick out.
There's lots of excitement as Hank arrives at Equine 808, and already there's some curious onlookers.
So the plan is, when we get him, we're going to put this horse, who is about a year old, in with him. So he'll have a little buddy.
This horse has never backed out of a trailer. He's a little unsure. I'm going to give him a little helpful hand here. Now is the first time he's ever backed out of a trailer.
While the team will teach Hank many of his new skills, just being around other horses will help too. These guys were eager to check out the new guy.
As you can see, he's a new guy, so the other horses want to see what he's all about. Go ahead and shut the gate. When I let him go, he'll probably turn, kick, and run off that direction. Or where he wants to be is with these other horses.
Oh, look at him go.
With no problem meeting new horses, Hank meets his pasture mate.
This is Flash. She's about a year and a half old. So far, a good introduction. They'll get more and more interested in each other.
Well, now that you can see Hank back here at our place, he's actually got a little friend now. Before, he was in a little, probably 12 by 12 stall, didn't have any other horse contact around, didn't even know that he's a horse. Now he's got a playmate, he's got all this room to run. I think Hank is really going to settle down really nice in here. He's going to have some nice training, a lot of people that's going to be interacting with him, and he already looks happier to me. And I think you know, his rehabilitation process is going to be just awesome. So this is what we do here. We actually rehabilitate these horses, and eventually Hank will be a good horse for somebody one day.
From a rough beginning, struggling on his own, Hank still has a long way to go, but the future is looking bright.